I think this moment's been coming since Russian tanks went across the border into Ukraine just over 3 years ago, and it's important that we've now acted.
Since you last appeared before the committee, Prime Minister, there's a new administration now in the White House with very different defence and economic priorities, which has certainly disrupted the status quo and has considerable defence and national security implications for our country. Now, you recently announced an increase in defence spending, but given the raised real threats that we as a nation face, will that be enough, especially given the geopolitical earthquake, with the US effectively saying that European nations, more or less, have to fend for themselves?
Well, let me unpack that, because there's 2 or 3 strands to it, all of which are important. Firstly, the commitment to 2.5% by 27-28 is the highest sustained increase since the Cold War, so it is a significant increase in spending, and then on to 3% in the next Parliament, in accordance with fiscal circumstances and, of course, general circumstances. I do think that's the adequate response at the moment, but in relation to the second part of your question, I think it is right that Europe hasn't done enough in its own security and defence for some time. I don't think it's just this President of America that's said that. Previous presidents have said that. I don't see that. I accept that challenge. I think particularly in the circumstances we're in, we need to rise to that challenge. I think this moment's been coming since Russian tanks went across the border into Ukraine just over 3 years ago, and it's important that we've now acted. I do not see that as an argument for Europe to, as it were, go it alone in its own collective self-defence and decouple from the US. I strongly believe that we've had 80 years of peace in Europe because of the alliance with the US and because of NATO.